Alright. So, as the title of the video should suggest, I am intending to go dragon hunting, killing the Ender Dragon. Specifically because there's a bunch of things in the end that I want for other reasons. Now, in order to do that, there are a few things I'm going to want. I have luck now. And speed 2 now. Fascinating. Anyway, is that from... Oh, it's from the helmet. I think. Nope. Alright. Anyway, to that end, I am going to we create jetpack. Might as well skip straight to brass since I, have brass. Steam engine is more brass, propellers, I'll need iron, wood, brass, and andesite alloy. I should have all of that up here. Brass, andesite alloy, no wood. That can be fixed.
You are mighty quiet.
Me? Is that, No, the OBS is saying I'm just a lot as usual. You're not going deaf on me, are you? The hell did I pick up? Oh. Oh, I never even emptied my inventory completely. I'm gonna turn this off for now. That should be good. Anyway, okay, let's get this recipe we need.
Maybe it's 'cause I am at a wedding.
That sounds possible. 3... Do I have any cogs left? A few. Bam, bam, bam. Andesite alloy here. 2 encased fans, and then the component here requires 3, so I need 4 encased fans. That's 16 plates. 3, 3, and a brass. Okay.
Also, how is it looking on the hurricane front?
Hurricane has passed over. It is somewhere else now. Oh, and I also need 3 of the andesite alloy. Okay. Aha!
Good. The D&D game didn't suffer. Only you did.
Only me. Oh, wait, I need one more fan. Jetpack acquired! Haha! Can I wear that on the back slot? No, it has to be chest plate. Okay. Okay, we'll leave the wood here. Okay, I need buckets. Ow.
Also quick question, if Aruj uses Scorching Ray and has advantage on all the beams, do they all get the 1d6?
I don't know. From sneak attack? Oh, then no. No. Multi-attacks do not benefit from sneak attack. Okay, to the nether. Okay, I need to find Enderman. I believe I have 7 pearls. Oh, let me get the quartz for the... Sorry, you have to die. Can't risk you destroying my portal. I can make fire charges here, but be annoying.
Makes sense, cause I saw some guy yapping about a bugbear build with Scorching Ray and said some crazy shit like 8d6 per beam.
No. Did I lose my portal already? What? There it is, okay. $6.79 minus 485. Okay. I always thought it'd be kind of interesting if Enderman had a piglin-like
Also
effect.
happy Halloween.
Hit one and it aggroes the rest of them.
It's not for you.
Yeah, no, it's tomorrow for us. But happy Halloween, man. I don't actually know how Halloween is celebrated in India. In the States, there's a pretty wide variety of ways to celebrate it, so I'm willing to bet it's different. I should bring on my next meal while I'm here. Squid ink pasta. Anyway, random film talk.
It's a regular ass day for us. School kids don't even get a holiday.
I mean, we don't tend to get the day off, but, you know, we celebrate it at the end of the day. Sometimes in school, people will hand out, like, candy. Yeah, it's still a school day for us. Or work. It's not like it's a federal holiday. And he teleported. Where the fuck do you think you're going? Wait, what? That guy had pants! Ooh. I wish they were a little quieter. Is it gonna trigger that on all of them? Okay, at least it's locational, so I can apparently run away from it. Alright, I'm gonna start my thing, but what the fuck was that?
Also, small confession, I don't actually like using early game Paxals, cause they run out of durability quick. In ATM10 I just a regular set of tools and a stone Paxals as a weapon.
So, this Osmium Paxel has 2048 durability, mending, and unbreaking 5. This is probably going to be my tool through most of the game. I'll replace it with a refined obsidian Paxel at some point, but that's what it's going to be. I don't think there's anything better than that. There might be one from like the mecha mods. Like Mechanism, create stuff. Oh, and of course Apotheosis can have something. Oh, these Endermen really like dropping me stuff. Bonus attack damage, very nice. Okay, starting at the floor. I do have enough pearls, so I could go back now. But I'm gonna turn on the video essay here. So this is random film.
Hello,
talk.
mysterious
Video
second
on-
viewer. Did there might get you yet? Oh, it's Moona.
God damn it, Pam. I'm not falling for that one.
Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, opens with some exposition that is heavy-handed, packed with information whilst simultaneously communicating virtually nothing of use, and is borderline incomprehensible if you think about it for longer than the time it takes to get to the opening title. We are told that on the Motherworld, 1,000 kings ruled unchallenged in succession. but that during these 1,000 years, the royal bloodline became too greedy in their lust for power, and so they...
It's not my fault you had YouTube open.
The realm then marched its armies into the vastness of space, which one would have
Timing
thought
this
would
shit
be
is
something of a
difficult.
challenge, given that they
Yeah,
had
yeah.
claimed the mother world of all natural resources. But
I didn't
one
figure it
would
out
have
from
to be paying
YouTube.
attention to notice this discrepancy, and so I can already tell that I am not the target audience for this movie. Then, one day, the king and queen were assassinated, which severed the royal bloodline forever, which is not how bloodlines work, unless, of course, the king and queen had no living relatives, which would be something of an oddity after tens of thousands of years of monarchy. Of course, I could be being unreasonable. It absolutely could be the case that it simply works differently on the mother world to how it does in real life. It could be that, as
Why did he have
agreed by the
resistance?
royal
Sure you
bloodline,
didn't.
when the king and queen die, the chain of succession is irreparably broken, which would be a somewhat counterproductive way to run your civilization if its system of leadership can be severed entirely through the careful placement of a couple of sharp objects. But anyway, that is apparently how it works in Rebel Child Part 1, A Moon of Fire, so let us continue.
Alright, where the
After
hell
the
is
king
it?
was assassinated, several of the planets the Mother World had conquered
256,
previously
so
began
this
to
way.
whisper of revolution. A senator named Belisarius, who was neither the Archmagos Dominus of the Adeptus Mechanicus, nor was he the person who assassinated the king and queen, I promise that isn't the case whatsoever, decided that he was going to be in charge now. And yeah, that's literally all we get to explain this in the entire movie. And then, as a show of strength, he sent his most brutal commander to find and crush the rebels. In the simplest possible terms, the Motherworld are greedy and ruthless. The king and queen were assassinated for some reason.
I tried watching
Belisarius
Arcane.
made himself the regent, and he has sent an evil underling
And?
to go forth and do evil. When opening a science fiction or fantasy film, you usually want to introduce the audience to the world that the story is going to take place in. There are
I don't
many
see too
ways
much
you
of
can
the
do this.
appeal.
You can open with news footage, such as in Star...
You fucking what? How much did you watch? Out of curiosity. Nah, I'll just make it a double chest, it's fine.
To be fair,
Okay. Pearls. Blaze rods. Okay, so I have what I need to go to the end. The Ender Dragon itself is not that dangerous. Should probably get better armor.
I am still in the process of watching it. I am not gonna drop something a few episodes in. This is just my opinion as of now. I think like the third episode.
That's pretty early. Where the hell is my XP? Is it up here? Did I use it all? Over here? Ah. Okay, do I have any pants worth using? Yes. I lose 1 armor toughness? That's fine. Do I have any boots worth using? No. Okay, so osmium boots are just better. For osmium. Okay, let's get ourselves prop 5. Yeah, that should be fine. This is prod 19. That's 76%. That'll be fine. Especially with all that. Alright, you can go back. Put the mending book back. That's you. Actually, use the lava. The thing I'm more likely to run out of. Alright, let's start with that. Okay. Yeah, we'll land on top of the pillager.
Are you watching your own stream?
No? Why would I be?
Cause now there really is a mysterious second viewer.
That's not surprising. I frequently have a mysterious second viewer. They say nothing and then leave. It's great.
Starship Troopers or Edge of Tomorrow, which can allow for diegetic world building as the exposition is coming from content that exists within the world of the story.
That means the
You can go
stronghold's
from
actually
cold
pretty
opens,
close.
such as in Ex Machina or The Matrix, to get right to the storytelling and worry about filling the audience in on how everything works later down the line. You can open with a monologue, such as in Pacific Rim, Fury Road, or Dune, which has the added benefit of informing the audience of the character giving the monologue, whilst also establishing the setting. You can even start by just plonking some text on the screen, which principally isn't something I find particularly engaging, as it can be an extremely lazy way to deliver exposition, but Alien and 12 Monkeys are two examples that manage this without being overbearing. Or, alternatively, you can have a shot of a spaceship emerging from a vagina portal and have an Oscar-winning actor read a bunch of nonsense that only serves to waste the audience's time and confuse the ones who are actually paying attention. We are then introduced to the protagonist of Rebel Moon, A Child of Fire Part 1, Cora, who lives on a bland, oversaturated orange nightmare because this is, of course, a Zack Snyder movie. She is farming at night, alone, indicating that she works hard and likes to keep to herself. This is extremely surface-level characterization, but as we still have the entire movie left to go, there is plenty of time for her to become more nuanced and complex. Yeah, I'm not even going to pretend. That doesn't happen. This character is as simple as beans on toast. Anyway, Gunnar tells Cora that they are all partying in the Longhouse, and we will find out why it is called the Longhouse soon enough. He says that Den has caught a snow elk and that the reason Gunnar is here is because Den wants Cora to see the elk so that he can impress her. After Cora questions Gunnar and he stumbles over his words, it is implied that the story about Den is an excuse for Gunnar to talk to Cora, and that what Gunnar really wants to do is give Cora a sticky hug. It will be revealed momentarily, however, that the story about Den and his elk is very much real. That Den does want to impress Cora, and that therefore Gunnar's mating strategy is to go out of his way to get the girl he likes to play hide the sausage with Den the Chaddest Chad who ever chadded. Anyway, every now and then
Genius.
Mr. Snyder will give us pretty cool visuals. For some reason, however, he seems completely inept when it comes to shooting a scene of two people talking to each other. The cuts between Cora and Gunnar in this scene feel totally unnatural because their positions in the frame keep changing arbitrarily, and both characters often appear on the right-hand side of the frame with nothing on the left. This shot here looks pretty normal. The camera is focused on Gunnar, and on the left we can see the back of Cora's head. A normal thing to do would be to cut to a reverse shot.
Oh, no.
Cora, who remains on the left, and
You ever
Gunnar
see a
remains
raw
on the
chicken
right.
breast and just want to take a huge bite out of
For
it?
some strange
Like as
reason,
big a
however,
bite as you can?
this happens
Raw
once,
chicken?
and the rest
No.
of the scene is extremely balked
Chicken?
when it comes to framing. We instead cut to
Yeah.
Cora, who is now on the right, and Gunnar is nowhere to be seen. We return to the original shot of Gunnar, cut back to the reverse shot, but this time both characters move to the right-hand side of the screen with nothing on the left, resulting in a meaty slab of wasted space populated only by blurry, oversaturated orange nothingness. Then Gunnar is in the middle, then Cora is on the right, and then we return to the original shot.
I fucking hate movies.
Not every dialogue scene needs to be filmed and edited using shot-to-shot, but there is a reason why that technique is so common. It is very hard to fuck up. For all its faults, at least Rings of Power understood how to do this. Much of Rings of Power consists of two or more people talking to each other, and at no point did my brain detect any fuckery with regard to how these dialogue exchanges were filmed. Conversely, in the very first dialogue exchange of Rebel Fire Part 1,
Craft a
Child of
spell
Moon,
book.
we have something that
There
appears
are
to
no
have
spell
been
books.
filmed by someone who doesn't know how to film a dialogue scene. For the guitarists amongst you, Zack Snyder is that guy who tried to perfect sweep picking before learning how to tune his instrument. Anyway, later that evening, Cora notes that it has been a while since they had fresh meat, and so the film is clearly making sure the audience is aware of the state of food on this particular planet, or moon, maybe. I don't know if this is the Rebel Moon or if the Rebel Moon is elsewhere. I just don't. I don't know. Anyway, this man who is named in the credits as Hagen, but I don't believe is ever named in the film, tells Cora that Den was asking for her, which
It's only iron
Gunnar
tools
must
and a
tell him
book.
the truth, that Gunnar does want to boink Cora, and that his method by which to lure her to the Longhouse was to go and tell her a true story about how impressive Den is and how Den wants to fertilize her. I question Gunnar's methods here, as his actions seem to be facilitating someone else hooking up with Cora, which is precisely what ends up happening. By the way, guys, no, we're not watching the wrong film here. This is an epic sci-fi adventure movie. It's just that before we get to that bit, we have to get through the rom-com sex drama portion of the movie. Anyway, we are then introduced to Jarl Balgruuf.
It is my duty to remind you that the gods of the harvest demand a tribute.
The weight of the leader, I suppose.
Who tells everyone that the gods of the harvest demand a tribute, and because this film was made for adults, the required tribute is loud, unprotected sex. Oh dear, whatever will Cora do? She has to choose between Gunnar, a man who is nervous, doesn't know how to talk to women, and seems to want Cora to hook up with Den instead of him, and Den, a man with a far more impressive beard and a man whom we have been told repeatedly is super competent and is the best at everything. Naturally, Cora does what every character in the film seems to want her to do, and she plays Den's Ding Dong all night long.
Everybody stop trying to have sex with each other.
Afterwards, Hagen
Craft a
tells
spell
them
book.
how awesome Den is and that they should start a more permanent relationship. I have no idea why the opening 10 minutes of this sci-fi epic consists mostly of uncompelling rom-com sexcapades, and my
So
guess
when are you
is that
gonna
Zack
craft a
Snyder's
spell book?
existence of sexting in a film makes it mature, and Zack Snyder's fans consider his work to be the pinnacle of maturity. Anyway, this discussion between Cora and Hagen is the first scene that contains any notable characterization, so let's go through it. We learn that Cora is an outsider, that she has only been here for 2 seasons, and that
I'm not
Hagen
going
wants
to?
Velt to be her permanent home. Cora then says, "Hello, allow me to tell you my backstory." She tells him that being here has made her happy, but that she feels she does not deserve this. She states that she is a child of war, that the idea of love was beaten out of her, and that she believes herself incapable of loving someone. Alright, this is something I'm going to refer to as the Nori problem. Cora,
You
like
wouldn't be in
Nori,
that predicament if you had a
is
spell
not
book.
contradictory in her characterization, or at least not yet. We have spent the first
I
couple of
disagree.
scenes with her so far, and we have a pretty good feel for how she might react to some situations. The problem is in how that information was delivered.
Why
to the
aren't you
audience.
crafting a spell
Yes,
book?
This characterization is efficient. Yes, this characterization is somewhat justified by her values being challenged by Hagen. Since we met Cora, she has been told by two separate characters, "Hey Cora, you should totally hook up with Den because he's a turbo Chad who hunts snow elk, and also you should totally get married and live happily ever after because you're an outsider who hasn't been here very long," prompting Cora to then list off her character traits. She tells Hagen and the audience that she feels guilty about her past, that she escaped some kind of trauma, and that this trauma makes her
Prismarine.
feel she is incapable of settling down and loving someone. This is exposition.
You
and
should
is
craft a spell book.
materialistic and superficial. There is no subtext. There is no deeper meaning. There is nothing to infer. The next morning, we are treated to another conversation about Den crushing Cora's buns before the plot of the film finally starts. What is about to happen is the inciting incident for the story. So far, we have been told about what the Motherworld is and how evil they are, and we have been introduced to Cora and her village filled with people who desperately want her to have sex with one particular man. These two worlds are about to collide. A massive spaceship appears overhead. We get more slow-motion seeds, and Cora runs to warn the village. The villagers all seem to be understandably afraid of and intimidated by the presence of this ship, presumably because they are essentially medieval peasants.
I think
But
crafting a
Jalmar
spell book is the
says,
next step.
What do you think they want?
indicating that
I'm
they,
good.
or at least he, is aware of the Motherworld and has some kind of understanding of what space travel is. This moment makes me wonder why the previous scene in which Cora tells the audience all of her character traits was necessary. By having her freak the fuck out, seemingly inexplicably, upon seeing a Motherworld ship in the sky, this raises questions in the audience's mind that have the potential to deepen the character. Is she on the run? Are they looking for her? Are they going to kill everyone here? All reasonable questions. Questions that would have been
You know,
far more
this
compelling.
video says a lot more like white noise when I don't know the content. I have not seen Rebel Moon. Alright, I guess
Cool, so you going to craft a spell book book?
Standing way to do.
No. Alright. Overly Sarcastic Productions, Transformers 1, How to Start an Eternal War.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fun and funky detailed.
I love
diatribe.
this movie so
I am
much.
today's host
It
and
was great.
presenter, Red, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Blue.
Hello, I'm excited to be here. I did homework for this.
You did a lot of commendable quantities of homework for this. Depending on when this goes up, actually, yeah, there's behind-the-scenes podcast discussion from when you were mid-homework discussing some of the stuff I had you watch in preparation for this Transformers detailed diatribe about the movie that just came out at the end of 2024, Transformers 1.
After show for podcast episode 100.
Why are you refusing to craft a spell book?
Yeah, there it is.
Because there aren't any.
We're getting back to the roots of the detailed diatribe on this one.
This mod pack does not have a spell book.
Identify specific small things that jumped out at us and really worked in stories we liked. And a lot of our detailed diatribes have suffered a little bit from scope creep. We get really in the weeds on like the summary of the story, and everyone has to know how we got here and what it all means. And the thing is, I'm a big context bitch. I love that stuff. But in this specific case, I was like, oh, I can actually get this down to not just one scene, but like one shot in the movie and how this really works.
This is some real detail stuff we
Yeah.
got here.
And buddy,
Oh,
I'm about
ours
to
adds
start
spell books.
diatribing, so let's
There's
go.
no R's in
First
this.
of all, we do, however, need to do some scope creep and discuss the big so we can zoom in on the small.
Theory of everything-itis strikes us again.
It's bots all the way down. But yeah, so in order to talk small, we have to start big. And the Transformers franchise is about as big as it gets. It started in 1984, so you know, a clean 40 years ago. Massive toy and cartoon franchise built on the simple premise of, hey, those GoBots were onto something. Wouldn't it be cool if a bunch of robots that could turn into cars just kick the ever-loving shit out of each other forever? And it worked so good that they've done it like dozens to hundreds of times. There's a lot. This franchise is one of those a lot franchises.
There's a lot of it. I think we nowadays can see like, oh yeah, Transformers exists, but it feels kind of in the background nowadays compared to the deluge of the Bay films, where it was like truly one of the biggest media properties of the late 2000s.
You can still craft a spell book.
Man, yeah.
I think that
No.
that weird different blip obscures the fact that this franchise has been kind of everywhere for 40 years.
It's massive. There's always something going on in it. As soon as one show ends, another one cycles in. There's always new toy lines and video games happening. But that's not relevant right now. Similar to the space of like superhero comics, there's an absolute snake pit of continuity, but there are a few salient details that are really all we need when we're going into a new installment of the franchise. It boils down cleanly to four crisp bullet points. They are Transformers, which are robots.
Yeah, a spell book is just iron tools and a book.
Outer space, the planet Cybertron. They're currently
And there's no spell book to craft.
What if the
So that recipe is not helpful.
showed up before humans discovered dinosaurs in the mid-1800s? So humans are like, what the fuck are those?
I have a few episodes of Transformers Prime that you could watch about that, but more.
Okay.
There's a very funny bit where like Predacons inspired some mythology on Earth, so a robot dragon shows up, and one of the human sidekicks is like, "Is that a dragon?" And the bots are like, "What's a dragon?" Anyway, but yeah, so they're split into two camps. There's Autobots, which are the good guys, and Decepticons, which you may or may not be able to decipher this from their extremely subtle naming conventions, but they are evil. In fact, they're evil and bad.
When I first learned what these words meant when I was younger, I was like, ah yes, the car robots and the liar bads.
The funny thing is, they keep trying to retcon like that Autobot means something more nuanced or meaningful. It's like this: the Autobots believe in autonomy for all living things, and that's why it's like, sure, we know it's because they turn into automobiles. But yes, they've been at war for a super long time, millions of years. They don't really age; they just get dinged up and then rebuilt. And the boss of the Autobots is Optimus Prime, and the boss of the Decepticons is Megatron. And they're
Oh, I think if you add diamonds, obsidian, blaze rods, and quartz, you can craft a tier 2 spell book.
I could if there were spell books in this mod pack.
Do not have to be complicated. They're robots that turn into cars. I have to
And they
stress
usually
this.
aren't.
They usually aren't. I must stress that usually the robots that turn into cars and punch each other, they don't have to get more nuanced than this. Everything else is icing on the cake. This is already the beating heart the franchise has grown around, is just how cool this simple visual is. But just that little bit of backstory, they are currently mortal enemies that would, kill each other without a thought, but there was a time when they were besties. That automatically adds nuance and gravitas and pathos. And there's always this question.
That is a lot of thunder.
Dynamic. The story of their tragic breakup adds weight and depth, and there's this underlying question of like, there was a time when they were on the same side. Could that ever
Where the hell is this portal?
But this is a seriously challenging writing thing to do, because in order to make this work, the dynamic between these characters has to be convincing, both when they are mortal enemies in the present timeline of the story, and back in the day when they were best friends. And in order for that to work, the character development needs to be handled pretty carefully to avoid the dreaded Revenge of the Sith-ening of the character has simply decided that they are evil now.
Yeah, I recognize the difficulty of that in not just Transformers media, but in anything writing a character dynamic that evolves from friends to enemies, and is not just, oh yes, we, when we came up with this toy line in 1984, we have them as enemies, and we just wrote that they used to be friends, and we're not really touching it because that's complicated.
Yep.
Actually writing it to be compelling in both is a...
With a spell book, you can make custom spells.
But it is one of the harder writing challenges.
I could if there were spell books.
Does not bother to do that because it is complicated.
Yeah, and you also don't really have to. Again, this is a war that's been going on for like millions of years canonically. It's like they were friends millions of years ago. There's been a lot of war crimes since then. Like, they're allowed to not like each other anymore.
Yeah, sometimes the tragedy just remains implicit tragedy, but I think as we'll see, some media is good at making it explicit.
It is, yes. First, I do want to delve a little bit into the Transformers homework I assigned you before you had to watch the actual main movie, because as you completely slid off of Transformers when you were, you know, at the formative age to watch it. The whole Optimus Megatron dynamic is mostly a hypothetical to you, so I was like, okay, I can cherry pick some episodes of Transformers Prime, my show of choice, to highlight, like, when I went into this movie, what standard was I holding it to of, like, how nuanced do I need to believe this dynamic can become if we're about to see how it all began. So I personally think that the standout bit of the writing in this show is the way that they do the dynamic between Optimus and Megatron and how it evolves. They've got the soulmates for murder thing down pat, and it's also very funny because it's a profoundly asymmetrical relationship. Like, Megatron is the one who's hung up on, like, only I can defeat him. He's my nemesis, and Optimus is just like, please, for the love of God, stop talking. And it's so funny.
It's very funny that Megatron keeps, like, getting to the point where Optimus is about to die, but then keeps, like, kicking the table out from under himself because he has to be the one who kills Optimus. So he has this whole alliance with the evil Transformer in the heart of Earth, and then is like, wait a minute, what do you mean this other guy's gonna kill Optimus instead? No, so he teams up with the Autobots to defeat the Transformer that is just the planet Earth, so that he can eventually kill Optimus himself later. It's great.
It's so funny, and that's part of what I wanted to. The main part of the homework that I assigned was a 6-episode block, starting with season 1, episode 24, and ending in season 2, episode 3, which I loosely call the Orion Pax arc. As mentioned, the big threat at the end of season 1 is Unicron, which is a traditional big scary threat in Transformers. He's like the evil version of Cybertron itself. And in this show, it turns out he's at the center of the Earth and has actually been the whole time. And now he's waking up, which is very bad news for Earth. Megatron has spent this entire season being like, yes, I serve Unicron. The dark energon flows through
You
my
should
veins.
play better than wolves after you craft a
And
spell
as soon as
book.
he goes to Unicron and is like, hey boss, I pledge myself to you. Unicron is like, no. Fuck you. Why would I need a servant? And what do you mean you haven't even killed Prime? There's a Prime still running around? That's some bullshit. Don't worry, I'll do it myself. And Megatron's like, the fuck did you just say to me? And then he just goes and is like, hello, I am a good guy now. I mean, obviously, not that much, but he's like, nobody gets to kill Optimus but me. And I offered Unicron nicely to kill him for him, and he said no. So I guess he doesn't get to kill him either.
And it's funny because, like, Optimus basically looks at Megatron and says the equivalent of, you're so horny it makes you stupid, and then they go to, like, solve the plot.
Yeah, basically. But the thing that makes this interesting, because the thing is, like, there's tons of enemy mine scenarios and tons of stories, and a lot of them are
What's the mod
but
pack?
It's pretty basic to have it
It's
be like,
not-
Signed Lick.
It's not a public mod pack. I made it for myself, using mods I knew I'd enjoy.
At the end of this season, he's like, I'm the greater scope threat to force you guys to team up and stop me. What elevates this, in my estimation, to make it more interesting, is that due to the complex shenanigans they have to do to put Unicron to sleep forever, Optimus Prime loses all of his
How
reason
big
for
is
having
this
Prime. So
fucking
he,
place?
He knows is slammed right back to the beginning of his character development before he became, you know, qualified to get the Matrix of Leadership, when he was best friends with a gladiator named Megatronus. And so he wakes up and is like, hey Megatronus, what the fuck is going on? And Megatron is like, oh, what an interesting opportunity this is.
You see the literal gears turning in his
Let's
head.
convince
Like,
him to
oh,
craft a spell book.
opportunity.
Yeah, because initially he's just gonna backstab him, obviously. It's like, alright, now that that's on the way, I can stab my good buddy Optimus Prime. And Optimus is like, Megatronus, where are we? It's like, oh. So for the next 3 episodes, Megatron just has like an amnesiac Orion Pax to play with, and it's quite interesting to me. There's nuances there. My personal favorite part of this is that it's clear that, like, on the one hand,
World's
Megatron's
smallest
like, it's so
stronghold.
fun to have him back, but on the other hand, he's like, he's no Optimus Prime. He's not as much fun when he can't kick my ass, you know? And at the same time, Orion Pax has the good heart that we've come to know in Optimus, but he doesn't have like 4 million years of profound sadness layered on top of it. And he's kind of naive and is being actively lied to by Megatron and the rest of the Decepticon command that he, you know, the small number of them that Megatron lets near him. But he's still got like a moral compass and a brain, and he kind of puts together pretty quick that like, something's not adding up here, and I think maybe Megatron must be stopped no matter the cost, actually. And Megatron...
With the help of the intervention of Starscream,
well, yes.
who shows up back into the plot after some number of episodes away.
Yeah.
Where Orion Pax is like,
If you had a spell book, you could easily clear the stronghold.
Decepticons, and Megatron is like, it's Autobot slander. Speaking truth to power is a lie, then let us brand ourselves with that. that.
It's okay, Optimus. We can reclaim it.
Starscream shows up and it's like, hey, you know, Megatron lies all the time, right?
It's great. I love when Starscream accidentally ruins everything for the bad guys. But I think this is a really interesting little glimpse in like what their dynamic could have been before the aforementioned 4 million years of war. And like we get this glimpse at who Orion Pax was, but we don't really get details about who Megatron used to be before he became this, you know, war criminal that will not stop causing problems on purpose.
But also, we don't really get to see that much of it, because we get to see, you know, Orion Pax, but the backstory is...
Also, any message that doesn't have spellbook in it is not mine, so just craft a spellbook.
It's automatically like, oh, this would have been more interesting to see.
Yeah.
So it's, I liked the show for what it was.
This is
but
the dumbest stronghold I have ever had to endure.
Yes, this is very much like a show that skews younger. There are, like, you know, human characters that are children that hang around the Transformers because that's the demographic we are trying to appeal to.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of just, like, weird nonsense seeping through and getting in the way of what is objectively the good stuff. So as I was watching it, I was like, what would it be like if there was a Transformers media with no bullshit attached and it was just the good bits?
Funny you should ask.
And then that was answered.
Yeah. Elegant segue. Yeah, so Transformers 1, the whole premise was basically witness the origin of their rivalry, learn the true story. This is a fucking tall order. And then the advertising did it zero.
Craft a
favors.
spellbook book and blow it up.
Like a wacky, fun action
What could
comedy.
uncould big mods does this have?
Doing a lot of bits. And
Other
Uh,
than the
the
obvious
character is fine.
It has-
mechanism,
Every single one of his
quark,
jokes in the trailer,
apotheosis,
oh, great.
farmer's delight.
What's next? He's right.
Okay, so we have a bunch of create mods. We're talking like a ton of different create mods. We have Mechanism. We have a bunch of different delights. A ton of different foods ones. We have Spice of Life Apple Pie Edition, which rewards you for eating different foods, but the better foods provide more diversity than just like a potato. Chipped because I have chipped and everything. Mechanism weaponry, which adds some extra stuff, but the only thing I really care about is the bow because I check it out and it's the only thing worth using. Apotheosis, Disenchanting Table, Mousies, Elander's Cataclysm, Aquatree, Tectonic. Aquaculture. I can go for Neptunium. How fucking big is this stronghold? Okay. Dishing garbage.
If you have a minimap mod, the Stronghold is an ultra-compact, perfectly optimized abomination, else it is the world's most sprawling underground complex.
Yeah, no, this was deeply terrible. But Olive. Time to take on the, the first real boss. Ow! Alright, yeah. I'll use a crossbow.
At least the portal room was connected to the stronghold, unlike sometimes.
Don't remind
Punches
me.
end crystal point blank.
Did I deserve to take my whole health bar and damage? Yes, but I still was surprised by it.
Surprised when it deals 10 hearts of damage.
Again, I definitely deserved to take 10 hearts of damage, but I'm also still allowed to be surprised. Okay. Okay. That leaves this one. Alright. I do very little damage to this guy. It's kind of weird. Don't I have strength? Yeah, I should be doing 17 damage. Ow!
Index pointing up nerd face ERM actually that's a she not a he.
Shut up.
Had to get that out of my system.
I know that the Ender Dragon's female. Okay. Well, I feel a lot better about murdering guys. Son of a bitch. How big is your hitbox? There we go. Okay, I do
The
not
knife.
currently have a way to collect that, but I can just grab a torch, right? Oh, I have one, okay. Okay, what can I do with that? Oh, right, the ignores spawn conditions. That is actually very useful. Just not literally right this second. Where the fuck is the... Okay, there it is. Oh my god, I never set my spawn! Ah, it's gonna warp me to 0-0, isn't it? Okay, how's my fuel looking? Pretty good. God damn it. Okay, 913, 57, negative 33. Let's grab some Cars fruit.
You didn't make fuel/water canisters? Or just a personal choice?
Just a choice. Where the fuck did it go? Hey, I was still preparing to fight you. Okay, looks like I might need to just carry Instant to make a pillar next time. Wait, it died? Yeah, so three super apothic things spawn, as far as I remember. It's Enderman, the Endermites, which fight Enderman, and that makes it pretty easy to cheese them, and Shulkers. Of them, Shulkers are going to be the easiest for me to fight, just because shields are so completely broken. Shit. Okay, got it. Another shield? Shield bash. What does that do? Huh. Alright, let's eat some tortilla chips. And a beef burrito. Alright, back to the detail
Right
diagram.
behind me, isn't he? Come on, guys. But then I watched the movie and it was really fucking good, so let's talk about that.
I did not hear about this
Phantom.
movie until it was already out.
Yeah.
Which I think shows how badly the studio fumbled the bag on presenting this one to
Yeah.
the masses, and it is a shame because this movie is functionally perfect.
Yes.
As I think we will find soon.
For the folks at home, you have to understand. After Blue was like, yeah, Transformers Prime seems fine as a show made for babies, I was like, oh god. And then when you were like, I can't find a flaw with this movie, I was like, oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, let me present like I was being generous when we were on the last slide of like I was able to find enjoyment while watching Transformers Prime, but I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm putting myself in the frame of reference of like I'm watching a show that is for kids, and I can enjoy myself for it, but it's like, you know,
I'm somewhat sure the end spawn table is Might, Enderman, Phantom, Shulker, Evoker.
Evoke?
You really have to get over the hurdle of these cute but pretty annoying kid characters, as was the case with the Bay movies too. The humans are always the worst part of a Transformers piece of media.
Yeah.
But like comparing that to this, which is just amazing.
Oh.
The like mental gap that was cleared in my brain of like, okay, like I can enjoy this. So like, oh no, this actually just rules. Like this is unambiguously amazing. Like I did not give a shit about Transformers at any point in my life until this moment.
Yes.
And like now I'm in. It's that good. I actually cared.
I'm gonna need to insert that one bit from Death Note where he's like, I've won, because that's just what's happening in my brain right now. Like, yes, all my machinations, they work. Man, I'm so glad you like this movie, because I like this movie, but I also really like Transformers Prime, so like clearly that's not an indicator.
So let that comparison go to show how much I really did enjoy this movie.
For sure, yeah. I do think that part of the reason why
That
I'm
took forever.
confused on how to market this is that for some reason, it seems like every time the marketing team for a Transformers show gets any degree of creative control, they're always like, well, no one's gonna be able to relate to a giant robot. We need more human characters and their dipshit friends. And it's like, I promise you, you don't. We like the giant robot. A kid
I
looking
love
at
the giant
Transformers is
robot.
not gonna be like, man, I wish I was their little human buddy who didn't get to do any of the cool shit. They're gonna be like, man, I wish I was fucking Bulkhead. That guy's rules, and it's hard.
I wish Gods from Outer Space had to contend with a child's school schedule.
Yeah, so... And then Transformers 1 was like, none of that shit. Humans probably haven't even
I mean,
evolved
people
yet.
relate to
They're going to
Goku, and dude
Cybertron, and we're
Yeah.
dealing with shit
can like
on
punch
Cybertron.
universes
I feel
apart.
the
Like
advertising
being
team just didn't know what to do
human
with
is
that.
not
They were
relevant.
scared that people weren't going to get it if they were honest about what it was, so they presented it as something significantly worse. And that's tough because this movie set itself up with a very tall order. It needs to show how two of the most iconic fictional characters of the last century became who they are. So we needed to see how Orion Pax becomes Optimus Prime.
Oh,
And more
found the boss.
complicatedly and less thoroughly explored, we needed to see how his best friend becomes Megatron. And then we can't just have the fucking Revenge of the Sith, one bad fight, and then they never speak to each other again. This needs to maintain millions of years of war and ideological conflict.
Yeah.
This movie needs to start an eternal war. When I went into this movie, I was like, okay, the only way this works is if this works from both of their perspectives.
Yes.
It can't just be Orion Pax stays a fundamentally decent dude and becomes good guy, and Megatron has bad day and gets Joker-fied and becomes bad guy. That does not work. We have to be able to be in Megatron's head throughout his development in this story. But
No.
careful about
Shit.
that, because while Orion Pax is our POV character, he's the character we follow most closely throughout the movie, we get a pretty clear look at his best friend, mining robot D16, through Orion's eyes. They go through basically the entire movie together. They're only separated for a brief interval of time near the end. But even as they're put through the same circumstances, we see them start developing in very different directions, pretty much from minute one. And I think that they handled this inevitable tragedy in a very fun way. So let's start peeling back the layers.
As for the POV, I think the reason it does work is exactly because they spend so much of the movie together. Usually when you have like a best friend breakup, it's because they're away from each other for 2 minutes, and then that like fosters a misunderstanding between them that is then never cleared up and leads to the best friend breakup turned into old enemies.
Yeah.
And this movie is capable enough to not do that, and by having them together, the character dynamic is 2016 like goes off for drinks at the robot bar and then like hears someone making some really good points and is like, oh, genocide, got it. This is much better than what would have been the easy and worse writing choice.
We had a similar discussion back when we were unpacking Arcane Season 1 of like there's an inevitable loving relationship to enemies plot that has to happen here, and there's easy ways they could do it. There's the one unforgivable crime way to do it, there's a misunderstanding way to do it, and the show pointedly goes to all those things and then bypasses them and makes the actual schism much more painful for the offing of it. And this movie does something similar. But because we're following Orion pretty clearly, I think it's important to get inside his head. And the thing is, that's pretty easy because Orion Pax is a paragon in the making. He's a fundamentally good-hearted dude. He's optimistic, he's curious, he's quite impulsive. We're introduced to him breaking into a place he's not supposed to be, trying to find information he's not supposed to have, getting in trouble with the cops and running for it. And it's like, this is how we're introducing our hero who's gonna become like history's most goodest guy. But it makes sense because what he's trying to do, and we learn this pretty quickly, is that he's trying to find information about the Matrix of Leadership, which is...
Oh, that hits really high.
The King situation, it vanished decades ago, and when it was gone, the environment of Cybertron suffered, and Energon stopped flowing freely, which they all need to live, so now people have to mine for it, and that's Orion's job, and it's all...
Oh god, I don't have a diamond pickaxe!
If someone found the Matrix of Leadership and restored it, we wouldn't need all this classism bullshit. We'd just be able to, like, live our lives in a post-scarcity society, and that sounds great and awesome, and would be good for everybody. But he's doing all these things that are
That met my criteria. I died of my own hubris. I could have fled. I chose to fight the boss. Right.
I keep forgetting osmium got nerfed to not be diamond tier anymore.
It's still better than diamond. Real quick. So the items I had the osmium boots, which are 1 toughness and 10% knockback resistance, but less durability than diamond boots. I had diamond pants. I had the jetpack, which is only 6 armor, so it's actually 2 worse, and no toughness compared to a diamond chestplate. And then my helmet was a Forgotten Hat. So that's substantially worse. Like way worse. I had 76% worth of protection, and...
Sorry,
that was
I mean T obsidian tier, as in on tier with diamond.
For mining, yeah, no, it's not, it's iron tier, but well, that's the death of that world, and I'm not sure I'm going to play that pack again. Not as it is. I think I'm going to be adding more stuff to the pack before I do my next playthrough. So for today, I think that's going to be all. Lith, I know you're going to have a lot of like suggestions, and I would love to do some sort of like challenge magic pack. I've yet to delve into those, or some sort of like ridiculous super tech pack. Not Greg Tech. I'm not doing a Greg Tech stream, but something. If you have any personal recommendations, I would love to take them.
Chow Lang Magic Pack.
Challenge Magic Pack or like Super Factory Pack. One of the two.
What exactly do you mean by challenge?
Well, I just played
like a puzzle pack.
No, I did like hardcore right now for that. It was what I mean by challenge pack is like something that's hard. I don't want like a nightmare. Like most of my time spent playing that one wasn't a nightmare, but some like combination of mods that's not a cakewalk. A lot of Magic mods just give you a shitload of options, and complete immortality is on the table for a lot of like witchery. It is so easy to be immortal from witchery. I died. Welcome back.
Did he craft a spell book yet?
No, I did not craft a spell book that doesn't exist. Yeah, I'm sure, Lith, that you have some packs you enjoyed. Challenge pack was one option. There's a lot of different things I enjoy.
If you had a spell book, you wouldn't have died. He wouldn't have died if he had 1/J.
Yeah, oh my god. A spell book actually might have been pretty nice. But I died because I sat still looking at my inventory like an idiot during a boss fight. That's how I died. Every single one of the Obsidiolith's attacks.
Let me look in my instance folder. Do ATM 10.
Let me look at it. Okay, I'm seeing mechanism, I'm seeing computer craft. A2. Storage drawers. I'm a fan of storage drawers. I'm seeing Forbidden and Arcana. I don't recognize a lot of these blocks. There's definitely framed blocks in here. Maybe.
I mean, if you want a puzzle mod pack that makes you big think, I would honestly suggest Equivalent Escape. It's a small pack, 1.12.2. The main Chow Lang is working around the hole. 3 big mods. Play better than wolves.
I'm not playing better than wolves. Equivalent Escape. A puzzle pack where you try to escape from a Skyblock mech to get revenge on the old gods. That could be interesting. What are some really good old tech packs?
Play Meatball Craft.
I could do a playthrough on Season 7's pack.
Meatball Craft is industrial plus magic.
Meatball Craft. Dimensional exploration. 100 custom multi-block structures. 70 different worlds. Vast quest chain. Tinker's Construct, RF Tools, Forestry, Industrial. Oh, it has Industrial 4 going? Unless they completely revamped the balance of every tool in Industrial 4
I honestly
going.
wouldn't mind a Sky Factory season.
Sky Factory. So, I think Sky Factory would be much more fun in multiplayer. I do not enjoy doing it by myself. I think I'd want at least one other person to do Sky Factory with. It's kind of like Greg Tech in that way. I do not want to play Greg Tech, but I would love to do Greg Tech with someone.
What the hell is wrong with Industrial Foregoing?
Every single one of the tools is insanely broken. All of them. 100% of them. Also, it has a nuke. That's not a problem with it, but like, it has a nuke. A frightening amount of tech mods are like, yeah, we need to have a nuclear fucking reactor. That's what we need.
That's new Industrial Foregoing, you moron.
That's new Industrial. Huh? I don't know. Maybe I'll just do the season 7 pack. Has anyone actually tested to see if the
1.12.2 is only machines and the 3 tools are the straw, meat feeder, and the mob imprisonment tool? Oh hey, Stone Block 4.
Oh, I love Stone Block. 3 tools, the straw, meat feeder, and the mob. Maybe. Anyway, mods. Okay, what was his name? Okay, go to folder, mods, move that over here, move mod to. Okay.
I tried the season 6 pack but not extensively.
Well, I meant specifically with the new mod. I don't know if anyone tested the new mod. The zombie apocalypse mod that we created. Alright, I'm gonna try opening that. I reinstalled the latest version of that mod, and I'm launching the Marvel 2 version of the pack. This won't have the world file, so it'll actually be a lot harder in some ways. Apotheosis will be a lot easier, but other than specifically getting Apotheosis gear, it will be way, way harder.
We should do a season with all the up shit. If everyone is up and no one is, also just keep scaling the brutal boss's difficulty.
So there was an idea I had at one point, which was something along that line. We have a sort of level
Thermite,
progression.
that just sounds miserable.
We follow like the MMO standard, where like a level 1 player would get their ass kicked by a level 3 player. A level 9 player kicks their ass, no difficulty, and it goes like
He likes miserable.
only like 10 levels ahead, and
Also,
you're basically
that
a
sounds
god
like
every time.
stage 10 Parasite territory.
Actually, unironically, I would love to do a Parasite one where it only scales when someone's online, but it scales when anyone is online. So you're encouraged to play together. All right. Okay, you can see my version here. What the fuck? Not important. It is successfully loading with the Zombie Apocalypse mod. Let's allow cheats for now. Bonus just on. How does this look?
If we do scape and run, we gotta cap it to stage 4 unless we add a bunch of very strong mods.
Okay, I need to see what spawns. Okay, so the drowned are working. Effect, give, strength. Let's just do like 200. What is your loot table? Oh, okay, the loot table is working. Let's try to light a nether portal. Okay, the nether portal is non-functional. Okay. The multi-drop is enabled. It is, in fact, dropping multiple items. Is anything besides the drowned spawning? There should be zombies. Okay, zombies are spawning. Zombie loot table is operational. Okay, let's see. Can they break their way towards me?
It's 1.12.2, you dumbass, for scape and run.
Okay, they placed blocks. That also works. They should be able to do both. Anything else I need to look at? Oh, when I die. Right. Okay.
Also, Boomy, I think ONL the pickaxe ones can break blocks.
Okay, that did not work. He showed the player reviving working, like the right-click part. Oh, cool! You can still swim. Also, this is what water turns into. It is a festival of loot if you can survive it. Because the drowned will kill each other. However, I will be going in to manually buff their HP to prevent that from being as simple. Probably their damage. How did you get up here? Not important. Anyway, we confirmed that the zombie apocalypse mod does work. Yeah. I'll probably do a let's play of that.
Use the deployers. You can only get revived by player interactions, fake players included.
Good luck getting deployers. Remember, ores don't work. Getting all the way up to a deployer is going to be pretty hard when, like, your access to brass is so gatekeeped. Oh, and we were going to make andesite alloy uncraftable. There's actually some things that do work in the pack, which I'm just going to have to not do during my Let's Play. For instance, the Twilight Portal still works, but you're obviously not supposed to go into Twilight. I think the Aether Portal works too. I don't think there is an end portal for us to worry about, so that should be fine. Let me just run through a quick list of things I need to do for the pack, though. I need to buff the difficulty. I'm pretty sure I added a mod.
Can't we just change the portal item for Twilight to Bedrock?
Maybe? I wouldn't know how to do that.
Hey Boomy, let's make a deal.
What deal? Okay, so the strength of the mods would be in the config file. Okay. For stat scaler, that's what I need to look at. Marvel config.
Help me win this season and I'll be your ally. No betrayals or anything. Next season. Boomy, check DMS, or are we just not looking at the same Twilight Forest config?
Oh! Fucking awesome, yeah. That'll actually really help. Yeah, I thought I can just disable that for the server then. I just haven't looked. I'll see if there's something similar for the Aether, but I think for right now I'm actually going to get off because this is the wrong stream to be doing the zombie play through, and I've also been streaming for an hour and a half now, so it'll be a bit awkward to immediately leap into another one. But thank you for your help, and I'll be happy to knock that out. I would appreciate if you had any tech pack recommendations that you still send them my way with. And then we also need to discuss building the server. Do I have the map on here? I do. It's this one. Yeah, so this is the map as it exists now. This is the city that Eco worked on. Obviously, we're going to need to put a lot of work into finishing this, but... I'm dying? Oh, I'm dying. But this is just the city. We also need to do the outlying regions, the farmland, the places in the mountains and the woods, campsites, smaller stuff, along with distributing loot. So I don't know if there's a way to share that burden without...
So thoughts on the deal, cause I am not confident in my ability to win this season.
I don't know, man, you're asking a lot.
Inshallah, leave me with create and I will build you glorious fields.
So remember, the create fields should be incomplete, right? We don't want to leave completed mechanisms lying around. The parts are fine, but the machines shouldn't be just like
A stack viral
plug
lag.
them in and they work. But yeah, create is in here. Somewhere. Yeah. Gotta build a fucking airport here.
No. As in I need create to build enormous fields of crops.
Ah! Yeah, well, you have that. The whole north of the island is supposed to be... Wait a second, did they... Is this the north end of the island? Oh, I may have my directions inverted. It may be the south that you're doing. Because it was... What the fuck is this? God damn it, Eco! Alright, I'm gonna have to get back to them on this, because that's...
PFFFFFFFF.
Control, print screen, paint. Actually, wait, I don't need paint because Discord allows you to just post directly into it. Square of ocean. I mean, there's nothing technically stopping us from leaving this here. Alright, well, I'm gonna cut stream. That is ridiculous. Let me get the coordinates. The -600, -4. Alright, fuck. Alright. All right. I guess I have more work on my end to do before I involve any of you.